Hello, my brothers and sisters. How you doing this evening? Your brother Tony have just arrived, and I have prepared a good dinner for you this evening. You're gonna have some good soul food this evening, and I hope that you all are ready. I hope that you are starving for this good soul food tonight that I'm going to feed you. Come on in, come on in. The table is set, my brothers. The table is set, my sister. I want you to invite some more of your friends in. I know family is here, but I want you to invite some of your friends in because we got plenty of soul food and they will enjoy it. Okay, so invite some of your friends and some of your other family members in so we can get to this particular topic this evening. If this is your first time looking at this particular broadcast, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships, my brothers and sisters. When you look at the book of Genesis, God had a unique relationship with the man Adam first. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman. Thirdly, he represented the woman to the man. And in the presence of God, Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. How you doing, brother Sanders? Welcome to the dinner table, brother. Long time, brother. Come on in, and we got a seat for you also, my brother. So come on in. I hope that you enjoy some of the soul food tonight. The rest of you brothers and sisters, I'm going to give some more of the family members the opportunity to come in and sit at the table. I see Mother, she have ran in, and now she's sitting at the dinner table. How you doing, Mother? How you doing? And the rest of you brothers and sisters, come on in, because we got some good soul food this evening, and I know that you are going to enjoy it. Remember, every time I serve you, my brothers and sisters, through God's Son, Jesus Christ, every time I serve you, I'm going to serve you some good nutritional food that's good for your soul. It's coming from a spiritual standpoint. As you know, my brother, and as you know, my sister, I talk about relationships. For those of you that are friends, come on and sit down at the dinner table because you are among family. As I was saying earlier, my name is Tony M. Toom, and I talk specifically about relationship between that of a man and a woman. Because God had a unique relationship with the man Adam first, then Eve, and he represented the woman to the man. And Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. How you doing, Sister Nisa? How you doing? How you doing? Now, I'm on two different platforms, my brother and sister. So sometimes when I call out a name and I make a comment, there are some of you that are on the book, and then there are some of you that are on the tube. So some of you that are on the book, you might see some comments from people on the book, but you won't see them on the tube. And those of you that are on the tube, you will see some comment from people on the tube, but you won't see it from the book. So I'm talking from two different platforms. So I hope that you all understand what I'm doing. So we got family from two different platforms, okay? And also we're going to have some friends. Those of you that are on the book, if you don't mind, I would like for you to like and share. And those of you that are on the tube, if you're not subscribed, I want you to hit that subscribe button, and it's free. And hit that like and share, and hit that notification button, because when it's supper time, I want you all to get the notification so you can come on in and enjoy some of this good soul food. But my brother and sister, I strictly believe in the relationship for how God started with a man and with a woman. That's my position. Now, if you have another position, you have what is called a free will, but I encourage you to sit down at the dinner table and get some of this good soul food, okay? Now, with that said, my brothers and sisters, we're about to embark on this topic tonight. It's called How to Pray for Your Mate. Again, tonight's topic is how to pray for your mate. Now, we're going to God's word first before we do anything, okay? As it is written in Matthew 6:10, again, Matthew 6:10, Jesus is doing the talking to his disciples, right? And who is Jesus' disciple? Everyone that believe in him, okay? That's who, and they was taught to them, and it also applied to us today. Now, this particular part in Matthew 6:10, again, Matthew 6:10, this is what Jesus said, and this is how he taught his disciples to pray. He said, May your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Listen carefully now. Jesus is teaching his disciple this one particular passage, right? Jesus said to his disciple, when you pray, pray that the kingdom come soon and that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, my brother and sister, God has a will in heaven, and he wanted to be duplicated here on earth, okay? That's how God would like it to be. And that's why Jesus specifically say, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, what does that have to do with a relationship and with a mate? It has a lot to do with, and you're going to see as I go down some of these points. But my question to you, my brother, so just think about this question. Why do some men and some women look for someone to make them happy? Why does a man and why does a woman look for someone to make him or her happy? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, some of you brothers and sisters. Now, when I say my brothers and sisters, I'm talking about those of you that are in Christ, okay? When I come on, I specifically talk to you and some of the friends, hopefully that they're going to listen. But family, my brother and sister, when I say brother and sister, I'm talking beyond the black race. Because I have brothers and sisters, long as they believe in Christ, it doesn't matter what race they is, what background they come from. I'm talking to you. I'm trying to help you. And I talk about relationship. Now, my question again, why do some men and women look for someone to make them happy? You're going to hear me make that statement throughout this broadcast, okay? Now, brothers and sisters, if you are in a position to, and you're mature enough to have a relationship, you got to understand this. There's not one perfect woman, brother, and there's not one perfect man, sister. There's no perfect people. The only perfect person that have ever lived on this earth, once upon a time, it was Adam and Eve. Besides them, who were consistently perfect, it was the Lord Jesus himself. So, and we know that the first couple, Adam and Eve, we know that they messed up. We know that they did not carry out the will of God on earth as it is in heaven because they got deflected some kind of way. Okay. So the thing about it is, remember when we go back to the Garden of Eden, Adam was trying to make Eve happy. He was trying to make Eve happy. When you look at the passage, he had to make a decision. I'm going to either please God or I'm going to please this woman. So we know that Adam, he thought his happiness was in Eve. But he found out shortly that his happiness was in Eve. He lost his real happiness. And what was Adam's real happiness? Adam's real happiness was his relationship with the Lord. Also, before Eve met Adam, Eve happiness was with God also first. How you doing, Sister Trinity? How you doing? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, we got to understand this. Whenever a man and a woman have a relationship, the most important relationship that a man and woman must have is vital. It's imperative that that man and woman have a relationship with God first. Brother, if you have a relationship with a woman minus God, if you put a woman on a pedestal, sister, if you put a man on a pedestal without God, you are about to run into a problem, a major problem. Your priorities are mixed up. Okay? So, but there are a lot of men and there are a lot of women that will say and promote that there aren't any good men or any good women. There's a whole bunch of men out there and there's a whole bunch of women that say they're just not no good person of the opposite sex. I beg to differ, my brother, and I beg to differ, my sister. You see, keep in mind there's not no one perfect person out there. Brother, you are not perfect. Sister, you are not perfect. So how can you demand another man or a woman to be perfect? You got to keep in mind, brother, that woman is not Jesus Christ. Sister, you got to be aware that that man is not Jesus Christ. So that means that the person that you get into a relationship with, that person might disappoint you and will disappoint you. Okay. You might get angry at that person. Like that person might get angry at you. How you doing, Sister Cheryl Ferguson? So you understand that? So when you get into a relationship, you got to understand this. You're going to have some sunny days and you're going to have some rainy days. That's just all to it. If you look at your relationship like you're on a cruise, you might start out on a sunny day, but then you might get into a storm. You might enter into a storm while you're doing your cruising. You might be in the middle of the storm while you're cruising, and you're going to come out the storm possibly when you get to your destination. So, when it comes to relationship, my brother and sister, it's not no fairy tale. It's not like what you see on the movies. It's not like what you see on the TV. It's not like what you listen to when you listen to the radio or record. Relationships are for the strong. Relationships are for those men and women that have the ability to love unconditionally. A relationship is based on a man and woman that not can love unconditionally, but that man and woman, they see a need for one another. A man and a woman, they must understand the love language of we, us, and our, not me, myself, and I. You see, when it comes to me, myself, and I, that's a worldly mindset. A spiritual man and a spiritual woman has the mindset of we, us, and our. So as I have said on some of my previous broadcasts, my brothers and sisters, if you hear, quote unquote, the love language of me, myself, and I, that's not the person for you. And that's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you have the ability to listen. If you are a child of God, how you doing, my little sister Renee? Welcome to the dinner table. If you are a child of God, my brother and sister, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, and the key factor, you have a discernment before you enter into a relationship. So if the relationship falls, you cannot blame God. That's why, my brother and sister, I'm going to talk to you shortly about God being in the middle of a relationship. Now, most fleshly thinking men and most fleshly thinking women basically have a warped idea of what a member of the opposite sex should be like when it comes to having a mate. Listen to me carefully again, my brother and sister. Most flesh thinking, when I say flesh thinking, worldly men and women, they basically have a warped idea of what a member of the opposite sex should be like when it comes to having a relationship. There's a man and a woman that from a subconscious or how shall I say it, position, they got a man and a woman stored in their subconscious how he or she should look, how he or she should be, and he or she will never do anything wrong. Whatever you at the dinner table tonight, my brother and sister, how you doing, Sister Kendra? Welcome to the dinner table. Whatever you believe, you single brother and you single sister, and some of you married people, you can take note. Whatever your concept of a relationship, especially you single brother and single sister, you can throw it all out the window tonight. As a matter of fact, throw it in the garbage can, because we got a garbage can at the dinner table tonight. Go ahead and put that thought in the garbage can, because we are going to talk about how to pray for your mate. Okay, now, and that's why when a man and woman have a warped idea of a relationship, that's why deep down in the inside of a worldly man or a worldly woman, they will never be satisfied, even if they got their dream of a person of the other sex. Okay, a man and a woman that's fleshly minded, he or she will never be satisfied, even if they could construct, and even if they had the ability to mold a man and woman, that man would never be completely satisfied with that woman, and neither would that woman be completely satisfied with that man. You know why? Because deep in that man and woman's heart, we talk about a worldly man and a worldly woman, deep within his or her heart, they're gonna have a sense of loneliness. And not a sense of loneliness, they're gonna feel alone. When it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister, you have the phase, you have that real excitement phase. Normally, when you meet someone, like I said, you normally don't meet that person, who that person really is. When you first meet a person, that's not the real person. Because every man and every woman put on his or her best mask at the beginning of the relationship. So I'm telling you this, my brother and sister, when it comes to a relationship, that person that you meet initially, how you doing, Brother Joe? Welcome to tonight's dinner table. That person that you meet initially, my brother and sister, when you meet someone, that is not the real person. That is a mask that you see. Am I saying that man and woman is deceptive? No, I'm not saying that man and woman is deceptive. I'm talking about that's not all of that person what you see. You cannot make all of your decision making on that initial person unless God is there. Okay. And like I have told you, my brother and sister, on several broadcasts, this goes for you brothers and it goes for you sister. Whenever you are interested, brother, in a woman, because the man's supposed to find a woman. Sister, whenever you are interested in a man, the woman's supposed to be ready when the man find her. That's the proper way. That's the proper protocol, because God does not want no man chasing no woman, and he doesn't want a woman chasing a man. That's not God's way. God's way is for God to do the work. He wants that man prepared, and he wants that woman to be prepared when he brings them together. Okay? And that's why the man and woman of the world are fleshly minded. He or she will never be satisfied with that man and woman. He or she might call themselves faithful to the man or faithful to the woman, but you still got something missing. You know what's missing in a relationship? That's why let me tell you, God's presence is not in a relationship. That's why I say the fleshly man or the worldly man, the fleshly woman or the worldly woman, God is not in a relationship. Some of you brothers and sisters, when you look at social media, when you look at Hollywood, when you look at these people per se, they got prestige and power, they look good physically, they got the money, the power, the position, and all that kind of stuff. Never get caught up in that parade. Never get caught up in that parade. What did I say about parade? And I'm not the originator of it. When we go to a parade, we see the beginning of the parade, and we have to stand there on the street and watch the parade as it go by. We can't see the end of the parade, can we? Only God sees the end, the beginning, and the end, and the middle. Because you see, we are at street level, my brother and sister. God is at the top of the building. God sees the beginning, he sees the end, and he sees the middle. That's how God's viewpoint when it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister. You just see the beginning part of the parade, and you excited because the parade have started. That's how most relationships are. You're excited. You ready for the relationship to start, and you're there looking at the parade, right? And you want to enjoy yourself. You want to enjoy yourself in a short period of time, right? You think it's going to be long term, but it's not. Okay. Our relationship, my brother and sister, it has a beginning date and it has an expiration date. Again, listen to this 2 times. Our relationships have a beginning date and an expiration date. Our relationship have a beginning date or an ending date. Brother and sister, whoever you get into a relationship with, I talk to you, Christian brother and sister now, whoever you get into a relationship with, redeem the time that God put you in a relationship with the right person. That's a key thing. Now, let me tell you something, my brother and sister. I love my wife to Quelsa, but you all know that I call her Cinderella by now. I love my wife, but I know that our relationship going to come to an end. I got that much sense to know that our relationship going to come to an end. You see, most people, they look at the Disney movie, Lifetime and stuff, and they think it's going to be a happily ever after, right? But the relationship, everything that you could see to it, all your five senses, brother and sister, it's going to come to an end. My wife and I, we had a beginning date when we start our relationship, but it's going to end. It's going to end in one of four ways. I love my wife, but I know it's going to end. And she knows it's going to end. That's why we have to enjoy the time that God gives to us. Now, how is the relationship going to end? Like most relationships, unless Jesus comes. That's the key point, unless Jesus comes. Let's say that Jesus tarry. Now, my wife and my relationship, it's going to go on for a while. Let's say that Jesus tarry in heaven before he comes. What's going to happen is I'm going to die or my wife is going to die. Okay, one of us going to die for we might die together, but we ain't gonna kill each other. But one of us going to die. The relationship, as we know, is going to come to an end. There's a possibility that my wife might walk out on me. There's a possibility that I might walk out on my wife. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay? Or Jesus come. If Jesus come, if one of us believe in Jesus, one of us going to be with Jesus in eternity. If one of us stop believing in the Lord, one of us going to go in the other place. And you know that at the lake of fire. And the fourth thing, if Jesus come and both of us believe in the Lord, we both going to be with the Lord together. But when we both be with the Lord together, our relationship down here on earth is not going to be the same. Jesus said that when it comes to a relationship, when he comes back, Jesus said it's not no marriage like that. He said that nobody is given to marriage or married. My wife and I, we are married right now, but if we both hold on to the Lord, listen to what I'm saying. If we both hold on to the Lord, our relationship is going to be modified. It's going to be better than what we are right now. We will remember that we used to be married. We will remember that, but our relationship is going to be more wonderful than it is right now, because Jesus said we're going to be just like the angels of heaven. Okay? So I want you all to know, if you brother and if you sister love the Lord together, if you're married and y'all love the Lord together, you're not going to be married when Jesus comes. You're going to be married to Jesus. It's going to be a whole new system. But the relationship that you're going to have is going to be better than what you experience right now. So I don't want none of you brothers and sisters thinking that y'all going to be married forever and ever going into eternity. Your relationship going to change, but it's going to change for the better. Brother George said, allow the Lord to find him or her. Never let your frustration is evil, and you are allowed the evil of the devil to take in your happiness away from you and do your worship God of the devil. Thank you, Brother Joel, for that comment. Now, moving right along. Why, again, the question is, why do some men and women look for someone to make them happy? Let me pause right here, my brother and sister. Just think about that question. Why do some men and women look for someone to make them happy? Now, can you believe this, my brothers and sisters? There are some men and women that are sons and daughters of God. Listen to what I'm saying. Some of God's sons and daughters. That's right. Some of God's own sons and daughters that are washing the blood of Jesus. They willfully get into an unequal relationship with an unbeliever. You understand it, my brother and sister? Men and women that follow God and know that God don't want us to be in an unequally yoked relationship, choose to do it willfully. And I'm going to use myself as an example, my brother and sister. I willfully in the past got into relationships with some women that I should have not gotten into a relationship with. Now, when I say got into a relationship, I'm not talking about someone that we were just going out and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. When I say a relationship, I mean a relationship that had some years invested. Okay. Where we call ourselves, at that time, we call ourselves mono one. Okay. But me being the man, my brother, and me being the man, my sister, I made a conscious decision, a willful decision, and I got into a relationship, an unequally yoked relationship. I went against God's divine plan for my life. I rebelled against God. Like a lot of you brothers and sisters, you are rebelling against God right now while I'm talking. You, brother, and you, sister, you know that man or woman that you're in a relationship with does not believe in God through Jesus like you do. You know that you are the one that have a relationship with God, and that man and woman does not. Even though that man and woman say that they believe in the Lord, you know, because you know what, my brother and sister, you could tell the tree by the fruit that it bears, okay? Because Jesus said, a good tree cannot bear bad fruits, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruits. Jesus said, you will know a tree by the fruit that it bears. That's what the Lord Jesus said. And when you look in Jeremiah, it had this statement by a leopard cannot change, an Ethiopian cannot change the color of his skin, neither can a leopard change its spot. And Sister Maya Angelou, the poet, the renowned poet, she said, renowned poet, she said that when a person show you who he or she is, believe it. And that goes all the way back to the concept when Jesus said you could tell a tree by the fruit it bears. Now, my brother and sister, I'm using myself an example because I don't want you brothers and I don't want you sister to get into a bad relationship. I want you to live your relationship based on my failed experience, okay? Because when I tried to get into an unequally yoked relationship, it failed. I'm not a failure, but it failed because I tried to get into a relationship minus God. And at that particular time, I was not thinking about asking God to choose a woman for me. That's why the relationship, it was north, but it actually was south before it got south, okay? Because I did not do it the proper way. I did not pray to God for the right woman. That's why it failed. I was doing it Tony's way. And when I did it Tony's way, it failed. Now, there are some relationships right now, some of you brothers and sisters, you are going to experience the sting that your brother Tony felt. You single brother, you single sister, at this particular time, you have the opportunity to start rebelling against God because God is your father, brothers. He's your father, sister, and you rebelling against him. That's why you having constant conflict. And the Lord is not going to be in a relationship where you unequally yoked, my brother and sister. He was not in mine when I was unequally yoked. I was going out, the woman and I, we were going through the motion. We were going through the motion. We were trying to fix it along the way, but it could not be fixed. You know why? Because Jesus was not the foundation of the relationship. And I knew better. I'm not perfect, but I knew better. Just like Adam knew better back there in the Garden of Eden when God specifically told him, do not eat of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, because when you eat of it, you're going to surely die. And God specifically tell those that believe in him, do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Now, what is an unbeliever? An unbeliever is a man and woman that is not in a relationship with God's Son, Jesus Christ. I didn't say know about Jesus. You have to have a relationship with Jesus. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus, because Jesus said, I am the truth, I'm the light, the life. No man or woman comes to the Father but by me. There's no other way to have a relationship with God other than Jesus. Okay? Now, I rebel, like I say. Some of you brothers and sisters right now, you might not be in a relationship right now, but there's a man or woman that you might be interested in. If he or she is an unbeliever, do not enter into that relationship. If you're currently in a relationship, my brother and sister, and you're single, you can walk away from it. You can walk away from it. You really can. It might be hard, but you can do it. So my brother and sister, if you're in a relationship with a man or woman that's unequally yoked, you're single, brother and sister, you can walk away. And we're about to touch on this shortly. Now, some of you brothers and sisters, let me tell you 3 reasons why you are holding on to a relationship with a person that you're unequally yoked. Let me give you the 3 reasons. And it's basically the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. That means that if you, brother and sister, if you have the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life, that is not of God. How you doing, Sister Flo Hardmar? Welcome to the dinner table tonight. You understand that? Because the Lord say that all that is in this world, meaning this world system, is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That means that you have friendship with the world. If you have friendship with the world, my brother and sister, you're not in a relationship with the Lord. So you got to make a decision. You're either going to be all the way on Jesus' side or not. Even in the book of Revelation, Jesus said he don't like for you to be lukewarm. Jesus wants you to be hot or cold. He don't want you to play the middle. With Jesus, you cannot play the middle. Jesus don't want you to play the middle. Jesus said either be hot or cold. Because if you lukewarm, Jesus said, I will spit you out. That made Jesus sick when you're playing the lukewarm part. Now we're talking about relationship, my brother. So now let me tell you that, my brother and sister, when you are in a relationship with a man or woman of this world, a fleshly man or a fleshly woman, some of you daughters and sons of God, I'm talking directly to you. I have flunked that test for you, and I'm telling you how to pass the test. I flunked it for you. I'm not giving you no cheat sheet, but I'm telling you, I have flunked the test for you. I have done it for you. I flunked. So I don't want you to flunk the test when it comes to relationships. Now, some of you brothers and sisters, the lust of the flesh, what does this mean to you? The lust of the flesh, my brother and sister, you have a desire for a worldly man or a worldly woman more than you do for a daughter, a son of God. Listen to me carefully again, my brother and sister. You have a desire for a worldly, fleshly man or woman than you do for one of God's sons or daughters. You know why? Because you get caught up in that person's popularity. You get caught up in how that person look. You get caught up in how that person assets that person have. You get caught up in all this superficial stuff that is not going to last long. Whereas God have a good man and a good woman for you, and you look at that man and woman that like they boring. That's what a lot of, even my brother and sister in the Lord, you look at your other brothers and sisters that are better for you, and you look at them like that you're going to have a boring life. Because you look on the internet and TV and you see these worldly people partying and all that kind of stuff, and it look like they're having a good time. It's just a temporary time, short-lived. Whereas you missing out on the best years of your life because you reject a man of God or a woman of God that God has for you. Let me tell you, my brother and sister, before you came into this world, God seen the beginning and end of the parade. He knew where you were going to be at from the beginning, and he knew where you were going to be at in the end. God knew that you were going to possibly desire to be in a relationship. God had a plan for you, and he knew that the plan was for a man and woman to possibly be in your life. Your name ain't Jesus, so he knew Jesus was going to come in. Jesus wasn't going to have no time for a relationship strictly with a woman. Jesus had a bigger assignment. Brother and sister, you have an assignment, but you desire a worldly man or worldly woman because you think that he or she is very exciting. You are deceiving yourselves. A worldly man and a worldly woman, they can't do nothing but give you a thrill on Blueberry Hill. That's the only thing they could do. As Mr. Berry about it, they can only give you a thrill on Blueberry Hill. He said, I find my thrill on Blueberry Hill. Look what he said. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. That's all it was. It was thrill. It was not long term. And that's what some of you brothers and sisters, you trying to hold on to that relationship. That's what you're doing because you're so caught up in the desire for the wrong type of person. You got to understand it, my brother and sister, when you're going to understand that God's ways are better than our way. Brother George said, drink of the water for the flesh, not under the circumstance. Amen, brother. So you got to understand it, my brother and sister, that desire for that man, that worldly man and woman, you being a Christian, my brother and sister, you may have a desire for the world stuff. That's why you had the Spirit of God in you. So when you have the Spirit of God in you, you're going to have an ongoing battle with the flesh. You're going to deal with the flesh and the spirit, but you got to go by the Spirit. When you meet a man or a woman, brother and sister, you're going to either meet a child of the devil or God. That's all you're going to meet. When you meet someone, my brother and sister, it's beyond you. Every person that you meet, my brother and sister, it's going to affect your soul. And you not only is it going to affect your soul, the most important part is, are you going to be in a relationship with a person that have your same spirit? So in every man and every woman, you brother and sister, that man or woman going to either have the spirit of your Father God, Son, Jesus, or they're going to have the spirit of the adversary, Satan. It's bigger than you, brother. It's bigger than you, sisters. So you must make a decision. You got what is called a free will. If you choose to get caught up in the excitement because of a desire for a worldly man or woman, you're going to experience a temporary high. What do I mean by that? It's just like someone that get hooked on cocaine. What do I mean by that? A person may have an interest in cocaine. So they take that first hit on the cocaine, right? And they get this buzz. And they think that, I don't see how people get caught up on cocaine. I got this quick buzz and it made me feel some kind of way, but I can walk away from it or I can't. I mean, I can walk away from it whenever I get ready. That's what most people thought that are addicts now on cocaine. They had that same thought. I am an exception to the rule. It will not get me. But a lot of people, they got, which leads to number two. Number two, lust of the eyes. A desire to want someone. And when you have that desire to want someone, you get soul tied to that man and woman. Because when you're in a relationship, my brother and sister, with a man or a woman, it's going to affect you all the way. It's going to affect you because you're going to make an agreement with your will to enter into a healthy or unhealthy relationship with that man or the woman of the world. When you make that conscious decision, you're exercising your will because God is not going to stop you from your will. God already let you know, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. It's in his word. If you have the Spirit of God going to tell you, don't get involved with that man and woman. And then you have this adversary spirit going to saying, he or she look good. He or she is fine. How you doing, Swaggy D? How you doing? You're going to say that man and woman, they look good. They look fine. They got this position. They got the bag, that ATM machine. They could take me places. They could do this. I mean, they could do all of this. They got some stuff. But you see, you get hooked on the stuff, not the person. You think it's the person, but you getting hooked on the stuff. So when you get a relationship with a man or woman, Satan, my brothers, Satan, my sister, is using those people to hook you, just like cocaine. That's why you get soul tied with these men and women. Satan know what you like, my brothers. Satan know what you like, my sister. How you doing, Sister Kirkpatrick? He knows what you like. It's bigger than you, brothers, and it's bigger than you, sisters. And you got to understand that worldly people can't see what I'm talking about. But hopefully you single brothers and you single sisters, you can see what I'm talking about. Some of you married people, you got married to a worldly man and a woman, and you just like Natalie Cole, you catching hell, and you thought you was alone, but you catching hell. You with a person, but you're roommates with that person. Now, you single brother, sister, you do not have to go that way. How you doing, Sister Dasha Marie? She said hooked on the material, temporary things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But let me tell you, my brother and sister, you get so tied to these people. They got you first, number one, with the lust of the flesh. You start craving these worldly fleshly thinking people. So you crave for them. Your flesh crave for them. And then it went to the second part when I talk about the lust of the eyes. You lust for them so much, so you enter into one of those unequally yoked relationship with this man and woman. So what did you do? You willfully invested your mind. You willfully invested your emotion, your heart. You willfully invested your body. You willfully invested your assets and stuff. So you went all in. Like some of these restaurants, they got these all in menus. So you went all in. But what you did not understand, that man and woman was not going to be all in with you. You missed the point where that man and woman were trying to sell you the love language and you bought it hook and sinker. If you were listening from the beginning, that man and woman mostly was saying me, myself, and I. And if you could recall right now, you was hearing some of these words a lot. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Swagger D said women are just as fleshly as men, but just hide it better. Yeah, but when it comes to a Christian, brother, when it comes to a Christian, both men and women, if you're a Christian and you get hoodwinked by a worldly man and a woman, you just got yourself caught up. Because you see, when it comes to, like I said earlier, for those of you that are coming in, I use myself for an example. I rebelled against God. That's why I flunked the test. But he gave me an opportunity to retake the test, and it came out better, okay? So I have tasted what it's like to rebel in a relationship. I was one of God's prodigal sons. That's right. I was one of God's prodigal sons. God had me together, right? He had me together. But I thought I was missing something. So when I thought I was missing something, I went out there and I flirted with some worldly women. I went and flirted with some worldly women. And just like the prodigal son, he had a good time for a short period of time. But then he started losing things. And when he started losing things, he discovered that he was in a pig pen. And the only friends that he had were pigs. He had got dirty. He had spent up all his money and everything. And that's when he started thinking about where he came from. Brother George said, protect your mind from the evil thought that has caused you too much stress out over a man and over a woman. Thank you, brother. So you understand what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters, some of you right now, you are a prodigal son or daughter. You know better. Like your brother Tony knew better, but I failed. You don't have to fail. Some of you right now, you are in a relationship with these worldly men and women, and you're soul tied to them. You soul tied to them. And you coming to the point where How do I get out this relationship? How do I get out this relationship? I'm hooked on this. I'm hooked on this person. I'm not hooked on phonics, but I'm hooked on this person just like a cocaine addict. I'm an addict for this person, which goes to number 3. Number 3 is the pride of life. Remember what I said, number 1 is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, now the pride of life, okay? Now, some of you brothers and sisters, you so in deep with these people, you so tied to them. And not only that, some people, you got an image to uphold. Some of you brothers, that woman that you got, she look good, so she is a good compliment for you. Some of you sisters, that man, he got the bag, and that's a good compliment for you. Some of you brothers and sisters, you are all on social media, you going out to, in public with these people, you trying to keep up an image. You got a pride problem. You don't want to let these people go. You'd rather have heartache. That's what you'd rather have, because you don't want nobody to see. You think you portraying in front of people on social media and in life that you got this perfect relationship, but you do not. And I'm talking to some of you brothers and sisters, you do not. You are flexing fakeness. You're trying to sell an image to everyone that you have arrived, because people say that y'all look good together. Some of you brothers, some of your guy friends saying she look good and she fine. So that's why some of you brothers hold on to the wicked women, worldly women. And some of you sisters, you hold on to the man because some of your girlfriends say, how much money he make? He got a car. He got all this going on. Child, you better hold on to him. Half of a man is better than no man at all. You holding on to an image because you got a pride problem. You refuse, some of you brothers, and you refuse, some of you sisters, to walk away and, like brother George said, and isolate yourself. So my brothers and sisters, you right now, you are in a jam and you're trying to figure out what to do. Remember the question that I asked you, brother and sister, earlier. I said, why do some men and why do some women look for someone to make them happy? Some of you brothers and sisters right now, that's why you're in a relationship, because you were looking for another man or another woman from the world to make you happy. A man and a woman from the world cannot make you happy. As a matter of fact, even a man or woman that come to you from God cannot make you happy. Only happiness comes from God himself. Now, if God bring a man and woman into your life, my brother and sister, he's adding things to you. And I'm about to get to that shortly. That's all God doing. But when God bring a man and woman to your life, my brother and sister, it's not for you. Listen to what I'm saying. When God bring the right man and woman in your life, it's not for you. It's bigger than you. I'm going to touch on that shortly, okay? Now, why is it that some men and women think that a man or woman can make you happy? As of right now, my brother, and right now, my sister, think about this. Ask yourself right now, do you spend more time thinking about that man, sister, or that woman, brother? Do you have most of your thought time going towards that other person or Jesus? Just think about it. Is your thought life going more toward Jesus or that man and woman? If your thought life is going more to that man and woman than Jesus, you have placed that man and woman on a pedestal where Jesus is supposed to go. So therefore, you're going to experience loneliness and sadness. You're hooked. Jesus is going to allow that person to hook you. That's what Jesus is going to do. He's going to allow that person to hook you. Not only he's going to allow that person to hook you, he's going to allow that person to hurt you. He's going to allow that person to take you through the pig pen because you're a prodigal son or you're a prodigal daughter. Jesus is going to wait till you come to yourself. Like that story in the Bible about the prodigal son. He had to come to himself and realize the position that he was in. So, brothers and sisters, those you that are single, you right now, as of tonight, you got to admit that you are in a bad relationship. You're dating someone and something in you is telling you to let it go. But something in you is telling you to hold on. Let me tell you what's happening to you, because it's happening to me. If you have the Spirit of Christ in you, my brother and sister, the Spirit of the Lord is saying, let him or her go. But your flesh is saying, hold on to him. Because when you are holding on to someone with the spirit of the flesh, you trying to justify why you should keep that person. Some of you brothers and sisters, you think that you can't do no better than that person because that person look extremely good, extremely fine, got assets, popularity or something like that. You really think that you can't do no better. That's why you holding on. But let me tell you something, brother and sister. God has a ram in the bush for you, but you have to let that zero go. You got to understand, you got to let the zero go. It's going to hurt, especially if you have invested so much of your time. It's going to hurt. I'm not saying that you're going to get over that person just like that, because when you invest time and your mind, your heart, your resources, and everything into somebody else, it's going to take a little time for you to get over that person. But you got to come to yourself, prodigal brothers and sisters, where you go to the Lord. And when you go to the Lord, you're going to have to confess to the Lord that you messed up. You got to tell the Lord, I tried to do it my way, but I see that your way working. You're going to have to ask the Lord to help you get through this experience, because you hooked. And like I said, you're not hooked on phonics, you're not hooked on cocaine, but you hooked on a soul tie. So the only one that can help you with a soul tie break is completely is the Lord. So you got to go to the Lord, and you got to, and this is what we're about to get to. Remember the topic for tonight is say how to pray for your mate. Now, this is the way you approach God, my brother, and this is the way you approach God, my sister, when it comes to having a mate in your life. Listen carefully, 3 points. Number 1, you pray to God for the right mate as part of his will. Listen to what I'm saying 2 more times. You pray to God for the right mate as a part of his will. You pray to God for the right mate as part of his will. Notice I said his will, not your will. When you pray to God, you don't pray to God, brother, Lord, let me just have a good woman. Or sister, you don't pray to God, just bring me the right man. You don't pray that. You pray for God's will to be done. This is what you do. You go to God and say, Lord, I desire to have a mate in my life, but nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. Remember when Jesus was in the garden, when Jesus was thinking about what was going to go down on him leading up to the crucifixion? What did Jesus say? He said, Father, will you remove this cup from me? And then what Jesus said, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. So, brother and sister, when it comes to the right man and woman, you got to pray to God. That's what a lot of you brothers and sisters, you miss. I missed that point. You pray to God, let this be a part of your will, not my will. Let me tell you something. When I got married to my wife, to Quessa, you all know her as Cinderella. I just said Cinderella. When I got married to Cinderella, you know what I prayed to God? Before I met Cinderella, it took me 5 years after I prayed to God. I prayed to God. I said, Lord, and I'm paraphrasing it. I said, Lord, I want a woman to follow me as I follow Christ. That's my prayer. I want a woman to follow me as I follow Christ. And I thought God was going to answer my prayer just like that, but he did not. Because he had to work in my life. He had to work some stuff out of my system. And I still got a long way to go. He had to work on me. And while he was working on me, he had to work on my wife. I didn't know it. I didn't even know who she was going to be. So within 5 years of praying that prayer, my brother and sister, I was about to settle. I was about to settle with this one particular woman. And let me tell you, this is how it went down. When I met Cinderella, and some of you have heard it before, but I'm going to add some more to it what some of you all do not know about, okay? When I met Cinderella, I was dating another lady, and I was single. For those of you, I was single, okay? I was dating this other lady, okay? But this other lady that I was dating, we had constant conflict. And I knew it wasn't right. So I was having a conflict with this other lady that I quote unquote call myself in a relationship with. And I was about to settle. I was about to fail again. I was about to settle. Because you know what she told me? She said, Tony, couples gonna always have disagreements, but I used to tell her, we have disagreement too much. I mean, brother and sister, we had disagreement too much. It was not natural. God's spirit was telling me to get out of it, but I was holding on. God's spirit said, let her go. Let her go. Let her go. You understand? That what God's spirit was saying. Let her go. But the flesh part of me was saying, hold on to her. Maybe she would change. That's what I was trying to make up excuses for. Maybe she would change. Maybe if we get married, she would be better. You see what my thought was? I said, maybe if we get married, she would get better. So time went by, and then I met my wife to be Cinderella. So when I met Cinderella, we hit it off just like that. It just like I knew her for a long period of time. And she experienced the same thing, like we knew each other for a long period of time. You know what that was about? God was bringing the right person to me. That's what he was doing. God saying, I got to help this boy. I got to intervene for him. Yeah, brother Swag, God loved you too much to let you settle. That's right, brother, but he also allowed us to use our free will. But thank you for that comment. And Sister Dasha Marie said, because I was hoping he would change. Yeah, she know that. Yep, you experienced exactly what I was experiencing, Sister Marie. So let me tell you, I was about to settle with this woman. And I told Cinderella, I said, look, I said, you my wife. Yes, I said, you my wife. And she said, let me see, it's okay, Tony. I was doing the same thing. Let me see. Sister Marie said, it's okay, Tony. I was doing the same thing with my ex. I was with him since I was 15. All we had was years to grow. He was draining me aloud. Oh, yeah, sister. I know. How you doing, brother Henry? Welcome to the dinner table. I'm telling you, I was about to settle with this woman when I met my wife to be. I said, I told her, I was straight up to her. I said, look, I'm dating somebody right now. And I said, I got to end it with her. You see, I went ahead and told Cinderella that I was dating somebody. And I said, I'm going to end this with her. So the particular lady that I'm talking about, my brother and sister, she lived in another state. She was in another state. So what I would do, I would go visit her through the month, and she would come to where I'm at through the month. So if you all want to call it a long distance thing, you call it whatever you want. But the fact is, she was in another state. So I told Cinderella, I said, I got to end this relationship, but I want to do it in her face. Because I said, overall, she's an okay lady, right? I said, overall, she's an okay lady. So Cinderella said, okay, do what you got to do. So and I was just straight up with Cinderella, said, I got to let this lady go. So Cinderella said, how you going to do it? I said, I'm going to go I'm going to catch a plane. I'm going to go tell her in her face. I'm not going to tell her over the phone. I'm not going to do none of that. I got to see her face to face and tell her, you know, that I'm moving on. So what happened was this. It was coming up to my birthday, right? It was coming up to my birthday. And Cinderella and I, we decided that we're going to be together for my birthday, right? So the lady, she called me. She said, I want to come to be with you on your birthday. I said, that's not a good idea. And she said, why? I said, because I made plans for my birthday. She said, what plan did you make? I said, I made plan for my birthday. And I said, it's not a good idea that you come. I will see you in a few more days. So this what she did. She did me a favor, my brother and sister. She dumped me. She said, if I can't come to where you at and I can't spend your birthday with you, it's over, Tony M. Toomer. And I said, okay. She said, that's all you got to say? I said, okay, you dumped me. And she dumped me. And did I feel bad about it? No, I didn't feel bad about it, because guess what? It was confusion in that relationship with that lady, and I was about to settle. If I would have settled with that lady, I was going to be in divorce court. I know it when I look back, that what was going to happen. But when she dumped me, you know what, my brother and sister, that was the best dump I ever had in my life. I have been dumped before, and I have dumped people, but that was the best dump a woman ever did. She did me a favor when she dumped me. Did I lose in the sleep? No, I didn't. I felt relieved. I felt relieved, and I didn't even need no leave pill or nothing like that. I felt relieved. So I told Cinderella, I said, she done dumped me. And Cinderella started laughing. I started laughing. And the rest is history. And as of today, Cinderella was the ram in the bush. She was the ram in the bush for me. So remember the prayer I prayed to God. I said, pray to God for the right mate as part of his will. I had prayed to God. I said, God, I want a woman to follow me. Why did I pray that? And God validated it, because some of you know, and I'm about to say it, your Sister Teresa, distant love, long distance love. And so God did. This is what God did. Remember the prayer I said, Lord, I want a woman to follow me. Prior to meeting Cinderella, my brothers and sisters, a lot of you have heard this, and you're going to hear it again. Let me tell you something, you're probably going to hear this quite a bit during my ministry. But for those of you that did not know this part, Cinderella called me, and we knew one another for like less than 3 months before we got married, by the way, a few years back. 3 months. But anyway, she called me and she said, Tony, what's up? And I said, nothing much. I'm just chilling. You know, I just chill. You know how you talk to young people, right? I said, you know how the young people say, I'm just chilling. And she said, Tony, I want to follow you. When she said, I want to follow you, that was the prayer, my brother and sister, that I prayed to God. I said, God, I want a woman to follow me as I follow Christ. Cinderella, my brother and sister, and I didn't even bring that topic up to her. As a matter of fact, 5 years before I met Cinderella, when I prayed that prayer, when I was dating and stuff like that, I never told a woman that particular prayer that I prayed to God about. I never did that. But Cinderella, she said, Tony, I want to follow you. When she said, Tony, I want to follow you, I knew God had answered my prayer. That's right, our brother Swagger D. Yes, God gave you a sign that she was the one. That's right, brother. She was the one. When she said, Tony, I want to follow you, I knew. God validated. God said, you prayed for it, here it is. And when she said that, my brother and sister, I cannot explain what went on in my mind. I can't explain what went on in my heart, but I said, God, listen, God did it. God did it. And this leads to number 2. She was a part of God's will. Well, let me tell you why she was a part of God's will. We're still on number 1. Because when she came into my life, This what you brothers and sisters see me doing, this couple ministry. Listen to what I'm saying. I had the gift, but it did not come out fully until Cinderella came in. So when I was dating other women, I wasn't even thinking about no couple ministry, my brother and sister. I wasn't even thinking about it. This what I'm doing now, it never came to my mind. But when Cinderella came in, when she came in, God said to himself, when there was a discussion up in heaven, it was the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They said, look, Tony done messed up so much. And his wife to be, she done messed up so much. So, and they failed some tests in their life when it comes to relationship. So we could take those two people, that man and woman, they failed so much, and we can get our glory through them because they are failures. They're not the Hollywood people. They're not people that's in movies. They're not singers. They're not entertainers. They are plain Tony and plain Tequessa, aka Cinderella. They plain people. So God said we could use plain people and get our glory. So if we use them, they're gonna tell people about us. They're not gonna say the relationship came together by them. They're gonna say the relationship came together because Tony prayed for a woman to follow him. And I had the ideal woman in my mind that Tony didn't know about. As a matter of fact, I seen the whole parade. I seen Tony life at the beginning of the parade. I seen Tony life at the middle of the parade. I seen Tony life at the end of the parade. I seen Tequessa life at the beginning of the parade. I seen Tequessa life at the middle of the parade. I seen Tequessa life at the end of the parade, aka Cinderella. So God brought this person to me. You understand? And so when God brought her to me, one day Tequessa and I was talking, Cinderella. We was talking. And I said, you know what? This thing keep coming to my mind by doing a couple ministry. I said, this thing did not come to my mind until I met you. I said, out of all the women that I had a history with, this thought did not come to my mind until God put you in my life. So when God put her in my life, she became a part of this couple ministry, my brother and sister, that you see me talking so much about. So she came in as a helpmeet to help me with this couple ministry. And like I have told a lot of you brothers and sisters from the beginning, a lot of time when I bring content to you, brother and sister, I run it by her. And I said, what do you think I should call this? I pray to God first. I said, what do you think I should call this? What you think about this? And we'll bounce ideas off on one another, right? And I listen because God could tell her something, right? And sometimes I said, no, then I said, yeah. And then I have a peace about it. I have a peace. And when I have peace, that means go with it. So she said, yeah. And then she'll say, what you need to say this and that. You know what I mean? Because we both have experience with relationship. I wasn't the first rodeo. She wasn't, I wasn't her first rodeo, and she wasn't my first rodeo, but we went to the rodeo before we met each other, right? So this is what gave birth to the couple ministry, my brother and sister. This is the origin of it, okay? So you might not see my wife that much, but you better believe she had the power of influence. Long I listen to her, long as it's going to benefit God. You understand? Brother George said God will give you the answer, and she will walk in on you, and you will be like, do you have the same question to my answer? Amen, brother. You're right. So listen, brothers, pray, which leads to, sister, pray, which leads to point number 2. Pray to God for discernment to identify the right person. Again, number 2, pray to God for discernment to ID the right person. What do I mean by that? Like I always say, my brother and sister, say know what you like, and so do God. Say know that you like somebody for substance. when I said substance, I'm talking about outside substance. God know that you need someone for inside substance. Worldly people can love you from outside. They like you. Worldly people cannot love you. They can like you, but they like you from outside part of the way in. A man or a woman of God love you inside out. What do I mean by outside in? Worldly people, they look at what you got going on the outside, how you look, how you shape, or what you got going on, your popularity, your position, or your assets, and a little about who you are. That come last. Speaking of that, let me tell you, brother and sister, something. And there was this one chick I was dating, right? She wanted to get married. And some of you have heard it before, but if you ain't heard it before, I'm going to tell you this one. This one particular lady, she kept talking about she want to get married. She want to get married. She want to get married. So I gave her a test. I said, I want you to write on a sheet of paper the 5 most important things that would be important to your life if we got married. I said, do you understand the question? She said, yeah. I said, listen to me again. I want you to list the 5 most important things if we got married, what would be important to you. And I said, do you remember? She said, yeah, I remember. I said, we'll repeat it. She said, okay, Tony Toomer. She said, you said, write down the 5 most important things that will be important to me if you and I got married. I said, okay. So I called her back. And I said, will you tell me? And I said, but let me back up. I said, I want you to write it down. I'm going to tell you, brother and sister, why I told her to write it down. So back to the story, I called her. And I gave her some more minutes than what I told her I was going to call her back. So when I called, I said, do you have your response down? What would be the 5 most important things to you if we got married? And she said, yes. And I said, well, tell me what would be the 5 most important things. This is what she said. She said, my children, number 1. This is what she said. She said, my children would be number 1. My mother would be number 2. My job would be number 3. You and I getting a house together would be number 4, and you. That's my 5 priorities. And I said, run that by me again. She said, you heard me, Tony Toomer. Not Tony M. Toomer. You heard me. I said, well, and she started getting agitated. I said, well, name it for me again. She said, look, my children going to be number 1. My mama going to be number 2. A house with you, my job going to be number 3. My house, you and me getting a house, going to be number 4. And we being married, number 5. That's the 5 most important things that would be important to me if you and I get married. And I said, you know what? We ain't getting married. And she said, what you mean by that? I said, we not going to get married. And she said, why? Because I said, I purposely told you to write it down on a piece of paper. She said, what you mean? I wrote the 5 things. I said, yeah, and I'm glad you wrote it. I said, when you wrote it, the reason why I told you to write it because you were going to be thinking. And the first thing that came to your mind, that's what you were going to write on that paper. So I said, you don't even have God as number 1. You don't have me as number 2. I said, I got children. I said, you got children, but if you and I got married, it was going to be God first, you second, our kids number 3, our extended family number 4, and so on, so on. But I said, you missed the point. I said, God was supposed to be number 1, and you were going to be number 2. And that's what I told her. Brother Joseph, but it doesn't matter. God said, this open your mind to me as she walked up to you. And that's a game changer. Yes, you're right, brother. But you see, that's what I'm talking about, my brother and sister. That's what I'm talking about. You got the ID, the right person. Because God give you a discernment, my brother and sister, right? So Satan know what you like. God knows what you love. Listen to what I say. Satan know what you like. God know what you love. Satan know what you like. God know what you love. You see, when you are in God, your love language, I always say this, you're going to hear the person always saying we, us, and our. You even going to be saying we, us, and our. Because your mindset is going to be, it's all about us. You're going to rarely hear that person say, your mate, I, me, myself, and I. You ain't no hard to say me, myself, and I. You're going to be talking about something collectively together. So what God would do, if his son is in that person, his son is already in you, my brother and sister. So you will be able to see the God's son, Jesus, in that person. Your discernment going to tell you that that man or woman got a relationship with God through his son, Jesus. You're not going to think it or whatever. You going to experience peace called God's Spirit going to let you know he or she is the one. With Satan, you're going to get caught up real excited. You see, you're going to get all emotional when you meet this person because you're going to get all excited and all that kind of stuff. But with God, you're not going to get per se excited. You're going to rejoice. You're going to rejoice because that man or woman is from God. That man or woman is one of God's sons and daughters, just like you want to God's son and daughter. God only wants you to be equally yoked with a believer, not an unbeliever. And you will have a peaceful feeling about it because you prayed to God. Number 3, pray to God that you accept his choice. This is very important, my brother and sister. Pray to God that you accept his choice. What do I mean by that? Your choice, that's why I said at the beginning of this dinner, I said, whatever you believe in as a mate, throw it away. Remember I said that? I said it's a trash can at the table. You throw it away. Why did I say throw it away? Whatever you, brother, you think about a woman, what you want, throw it away. Sister, whatever you think about a man, what you want, throw it away. Brother, it's about what you need. Sister, it's about what you need. Remember, that person got to be a part of God's will. That person got to be ID'd as the right person, and you got to accept God's choice. The person that you have in your mind, it might not be the person that God brings to you. And I always say, God, God does not go by the appearance. I want to tell you, brother and sister, that right now. Now, if God bless you with a person that's look nice on the inside and outside, the outside is a bonus. So don't get caught up with a person, he or she got to be a 9 or a 10. When that person could be adjustable 7 or 6. God knows, brother and sister, that you want someone that's going to be attractive. He knows that. He knows that you want somebody that's going to be attractive. God will give that person attraction. He or she will be, you will be attracted to that person's spirit first. Then you will be attracted to that person's soul second. That's the person's mind, will, and emotion. And thirdly, you will be attracted to that person on the outside. Because let me tell you this, my brother and sister, if you start off young, brother, your outside going to change. And sister, your outside going to change. Brother, right now, you might be slim and muscular and everything if you're young. If you get old, you might get a beer belly and you don't even drink beer. You understand that, brother? You might get a beer belly and you don't even drink beer because your body is going to change. Sister, you might be fine like this guy named Carlton, whatever. He had this song out some years ago called She's a Bad Mama Jamma. Your wife, she might be a bad mama jamma when she was young. But when she get older, she might get some cellulites in those thighs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you just go by her looks, brother and sister, that person that you married yesterday going to change tomorrow. And you will be able to see it. Because if the Lord allow you to be with that person for years and years, you're going to get older. The body is going to change. Because the body is going to start decaying. Your spirit is alive, but your body is going to start decaying. As you get older, you can go to the weight room all you want to, but as you get older, your body is going to change. Your thought process is going to change. The person that you met 5 years ago, he or she, their mindset's going to change later on. So you got to understand that, my brother and sister, that person is going to change for the better or the worse. If you were a Christian, you hope that that person change for the better, because you want that person wisdom to grow. You want that person knowledge to grow. You want that person understanding to grow. And you want that person discernment to grow. Remember, brother, remember, sister, you approach God this way when it comes to a mate. Lord, I want someone that's going to be a part of your will for my life. Lord, I want you to give me discernment to detect the right person. Lord, I want you to cause me to accept the person that you want for me, not what I need for me, and who you need for me as I fulfill your will. So when it comes to praying for a person, praying for your mate, my brother and sister, pray like I said from the beginning. You remember what I said from the beginning? This is what I said. Do that prayer like Jesus prayed in Matthew 16. Matthew 16, it said, and Jesus taught his disciples this prayer. May your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So when you pray for a mate, you say, Lord, I want that mate that you got in your mind in heaven. And I want that person to be on earth with me. Lord, I want you to help this. I want this person to help me with the purpose that you put in my life. I want this person is your man. I want this person to be a helpmate. Lord, cause me to find this woman. I know you're going to bring the woman to me, but when you bring the woman to me, let me be able to identify she's the one. Sister, what you need to do is, Lord, prepare me for this man. I want you to be able to let me ID that this man is the one, that he's the leader, and he's going to be the head of our relationship, and I will follow him as long as he follow your son, Jesus. Show me. And both of you all together, Lord, let us worship you together. Let us both worship you in spirit and truth together. Let us live a life. We're not famous, Lord. We don't want to be famous, Lord. All we want you to do is use us as vessels. Use us as an example of Christ loving the church. Use us, Lord. Use us, use us. How did our relationship, and Lord, if someone asks us what keep our relationship together, we are not going to say good communication. If anybody asks Cinderella and I, how did our relationship come together, or how is it sustained, the first thing that come out of my God. God called our relationship to go together. Most people you will hear good communication. If somebody tell you, my brother and sister, that good communication, if that's the first thing that come out of their mouth, walk away from them, reject them. Reject them. I don't care if they've been together 50 years. If you hear a man or woman say, we've been together because of good communication, they lack wisdom, they lack knowledge, they lack understanding, they lack discernment. A man and woman that's in the Lord should give credit to the Lord and say, we are together because of God. And we got good communication because it's a byproduct of having a relationship with God through his son, Jesus. You understand, my brother? You understand, my sister? I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's meal, because I enjoyed you all having dinner with me, my brothers and sisters. Those of you that are on the book, listen carefully. If you don't mind, will you please like and share? You don't have to, but would you like and share? Those of you that are on the tube, if you are not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. And once you hit that subscribe button, hit like and share. It's not going to cost you nothing, okay? It's not going to cost you anything. How you doing, Cousin Connie? It's not going to cost you anything. Okay. And I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's dinner. And let me tell you, my brother and sister, God have a ram in the bush for you if you desire a relationship. But you know what you first have to do, my brother and sister? You have to delight in the Lord first. And once you delight in the Lord, he's going to give you the desires of your heart. The Lord knows, brothers. The Lord knows, sister. He said it himself that it's not good for a man to be alone. Jesus knows, the Lord knows this. He said it himself. So it will happen in God's time. That's the key thing. So my brothers and sisters, let God do his work. You might feel like you're about to settle, my brother and sister, because I understand that I was about to settle again. I understand that feeling. But be patient. Be very, very patient and let God do his thing. Don't get in front of God. Don't rush God. Don't be thinking, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I'm about to hit the wall. Some of you sisters, I'm getting old. I'm about to hit the wall. Don't worry about it. Just follow the Lord, desire in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. I enjoyed you, brothers and sisters. We got plenty of food left we got plenty of soul food here tonight. I don't want to throw this food away. I want you all to get a plate, get a couple of plates, and share it with some more family members and some more friends. And when they say, where you get this good soul food from? Say, we got it from Brother Tony. He be cooking that soul food. Where he get the recipe from? He get it from God himself. He get God giving that recipe. He cook up this soul food. And Jesus said, put a little spice here. Throw a little pepper there. Jesus be in him. Jesus be telling them what to put in on that plate. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. You all, Lord willing, we'll be at the dinner table tomorrow night. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. If you want to be a part of my Facebook stuff so you can see what I put out in the morning, go ahead and send me an invite. And you will see some of the stuff that I put out every morning, okay? And you will see a picture of Cinderella every day with me, okay? I love you, brother. I love you, sister. You all have a good night. I love you. I love you. Love you. Peace out.